Imagine living on 27 baht, or $0.75 a day, for the rest of your life. This is the reality of 53% of Thai retirees who are now retiring with less than 200,000 baht in savings. I'm Gino, and I'm here today to talk about the reality of financial literacy and why this generation, Generation Z, needs it more than ever. Over the last 20 years, there has been an explosion in the amount of information accessible to us. Never before has the wealth of the world's information been only a few clicks away from the average person. And with this immense restructuring of the world order came a new generation. A generation that is more distractible, impressionable, egotistical, and addicted to instant gratification than ever. A generation with one of the lowest financial literacy rates out of all the generations. While this may sound discouraging, our generation is also one of the most resourceful generations ever. Growing up around the internet, we've accustomed ourselves to searching things up online and figuring things out on our own when we can't figure it out without the internet. And we need to lean into this change. We need to embrace it in order to make sure that Gen Z becomes financially literate. But first, what is financial literacy? Financial literacy is the critical skill set and knowledge of budgeting, saving, investing, and using and managing debt to make sure that we make informed financial decisions for ourselves. We need financial literacy to be able to buy the things we want to buy, to do the things we want to do, while still having enough money left in the bank. The need for financial literacy is universal. All people, regardless of sex, ethnicity, and job title, need financial literacy to make informed financial decisions for ourselves. But as important as this skill is, there is little standardized education on this topic, and it's a requirement in very few countries around the world. And the result of this is continued financial literacy in the next generation. The consequences of financial literacy are compounded by the unique traits of our generation. We are more impressionable, egotistical, and addicted to instant gratification than ever. Generation Z is a generation that is most easily influenced by online advertising, with 53% of Gen Z people responding to online advertisements as opposed to the average of 30% across the other generations. Whenever an Instagram star or a famous influencer posts a commercial for a certain product, it goes flying off the shelves. We also have a higher need for showing off. We've all seen people showing off their luxury watches and their luxury cars, but how many of those people actually needed those products? And how many of those people could comfortably afford it? Lastly, there is a culture of instant gratification due to the increasing trend of the accessibility of goods, services, and information. On social media, we are conditioned to expect immediate responses. Whenever we post something or leave behind a comment, we are constantly refreshing the page to see the latest replies and the latest likes. And as consumers, we now expect things faster than ever, opting for next day and even same-day delivery. Young people today are accustomed to getting the things they want quickly, easily, and immediately. The trend of increasing instant gratification is made increasingly clear through the development of buy now, pay later apps. The very fact that these business models exist means that they succeed in enticing consumers to borrow more and spend more without considering the long-term consequences. These three traits pose a challenge to financial literacy. When we are impressionable, we are more easily influenced to spend money in ways that are not good for us. When we are egotistical, when we are conditioned to spend money even at our own expense, we spend money in ways that may not seem logical. And when we are addicted to instant gratification, we easily overspend without considering long-term consequences. Financial literacy is becoming increasingly important. By 2025, Gen Z will make up 27% of the global workforce, and millennials, who are similarly affected, currently make up 37% of the global workforce. In not so many years, we'll be in charge of the world's governments, education systems, militaries, and healthcare systems. And in the next 30 years, the baby boomer generation will pass on an estimated $30 trillion of wealth to us Gen Z and millennials. Financial literacy is necessary. But how do we become financially literate? One of the ways I became more financially literate was through embracing our newfound access to information. You see, growing up, I was surrounded by books, videos, and blogs about finance and investing. My favorite investor is Warren Buffett because of his principled approach to investing and his down-to-earth personality. I was puzzled by how this man could become so rich by only making a few decisions a year. And I was also puzzled by how many of the adults I talked to didn't know about Warren Buffett, or even investing, and didn't contribute towards their retirement accounts. This interest in finance and investing eventually led me to start studying AP Macro and AP Micro online, which eventually led me to participate in the International Economics Olympiad. But even if you aren't interested in stocks, bonds, and dividends, you can still increase your financial literacy through keeping up to date with financial news through news sites, blog posts, and podcasts. Knowing that a recession is approaching can help you from overspending at a bad time, and knowing that a certain company is taking certain actions can influence your decision to invest in that company, to keep your investment, or to sell off your investment in that company. Other than that, we also must make financial literacy a priority in schools. We need to teach teenagers the basics of budgeting, saving, and investing. And other than teaching them about personal finances, we also have to teach them about how these personal finances fit into the bigger picture of the economy as a whole, so that in the future, these students, when exposed to news about the economy, can then interpret that news and make decisions about their own personal finances. In addition, parents can play an important role in instilling good financial habits in their children. By teaching them good financial habits early on, they set their children's lives up for a lifetime of financial success. Parents should not only teach their children these good financial habits, but they should also model these good financial habits in their own behavior. In addition, it's seen as rude for children to ask about adults' salaries and their financial situation. And we need to break down the stigma, and we need to normalize discussions about money in the household so that children are taught and internalize these important financial habits from early on. A world without financial literacy is a world plagued by the problems of bankruptcy and overflowing, unsustainable debt. It is a world where families break apart due to crippling credit card debt. A world with financial literacy is one where individuals are empowered to take control of their financial situation and their lives. We need financial literacy. We need to seek it on our own. We need to make a priority in schools and in households, and we need it now. This generation may have its flaws, but it is not hopeless. We can still achieve financial literacy, and we can become more financially literate than ever through embracing these new tools that are available to us. And our future and the future of this world depends on it. Thank you very much.